Yo, what up, everybody? Casket King here with.
Krusty Loves.
And it's time once again for the CnC podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to say today's podcast is going to be about serial killers, murderers, and all things wicked and disgusting and dark in the world. So if you're not okay with that, this is a disclaimer. You may want to back out now. But also, there is some exclusive information on the Elliot Rodger's case that I did some research. I spent 8 hours last night reading through his or watching all of his YouTube videos and reading his suicide note, which took me 2 hours on itself. And then after doing that, I realized a light bulb went off in my head. I can find out some personal information because they released so much information that I was able to use that to my advantage and to actually figure out more stuff about the case, which, by the way, they haven't been able to figure out yet, or at least not to the public's knowledge. So, and maybe this will actually help them finish the case up. So if you are a detective in the case or something, you may want to listen up.
Fuck yeah.
And just think this is, and all I had to do was use common sense. So any of you know that don't know who Elliot Rodgers is, you need to get out from under your rock and live in the world that everybody else does. And for anybody who feels like Elliot Rodgers or can relate to his story, seek help, please, because
don't take his advice. He is fucking mentally ill and crazy.
Yeah, and seek help, and if anything, you can ask us questions, and we will definitely try to help you, because it's better than the alternative. So, Elliot Rodgers, his videos pretty much were the same thing, video after video, all the way up leading to his last video. He'd be some really awesome-looking sceneries, and in every video he would talk about how it was wrong of women to not find him attractive, and it was disgusting to see men with women that were beneath him, and he had a god complex, and he was also narcissistic, but you know, that's easy to tell, and that's easy to see, especially when you read his suicide note, which, by the way, they found in his room along with 3 dead bodies.
That's fucked up,
2 roommates and 1 other. Yeah, it was both of his roommates that he had been with for 2 years, and then 1 random guy was able to lure into his apartment. So I'm going to skip through the gist of it because you can see a lot of this on other YouTube channels. I'm going to explain his 3-step program to his murder, and then I'm going to give you some exclusive information.
That's right, man. Get to the meaty parts, like a really good burger, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You want to get to the juicy stuff. You don't want to eat around the shit, so I'm going to give that to you guys here. Well, basically, he had a huge trauma childhood, which you can see in other videos and on if you read his suicide letter, everything was fucked up. The gist of it is his mom and dad got a divorce. His parents never talked to him about sex. He felt like he was entitled to everything. He had a god complex. He was also had Asperger's syndrome, which no one addressed, and he refused to take medication for. And so he ended up, after years of feeling neglected and depression, along with his mental disabilities, led him up to wanting to make a world kind of like Hitler did, except instead of the Jews, what he wanted to do is prosecute all women, put them in a camp, and watch them starve to death while picking out a selective few women, which would be used in breeding in the future, saying that it would cause mankind to further advance, not having to worry about sex. But his 3-step program...
Let me stop you right there, dude. That is really, really fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, the way he describes it is like a villain from a fucking movie. Like, he had seriously pushed him level up to... He thought he was a god, and he wanted to be treated as such. He even went so far as to, before these murders, he actually went to a party and seen these blonde women and felt so conflicted about it, he tried to push them off of a 10-foot ledge on the concrete, which could have killed him, but instead, the guys at the party seen him trying to push these women off the ledge, and they in turn pushed him off the ledge and continued to beat him senseless. And when he got up from the ground, he felt like he was the victim, and he felt he was wrong because no women felt sorry for him for getting beaten and would come back to his apartment and sleep with him. So this is the type of guy that we're talking about.
That's
so his 3-step program in his murder spree Step one was to sneak into the hottest sorority group of women. Murder them all, chop off their heads, put them in a duffel bag. Then he would drive his BMW over to his stepmother's house and his little brother's, proceed to kill his mother and his little brother. He did like his dad, so he waited till his dad was out of town. And the reason he wanted to kill his little brother is because a couple weeks prior to his murder spree, he went home to his stepmother's and his little brother. And his stepmother flaunted in his face how his little brother would lose his virginity young and would become really popular, which drove him crazy and mad.
That's fucking weird, dude, for a parent.
Yeah, it's fucked up that his mom was flaunting in his face how his stepbrother was going to be so much more successful than him. To a guy that had already previously had mental problems, that's pretty fucked up, you know. And that right there is what's, I believe, pushed him over the edge. But he did not want to kill his father, so he waited until his father was out of town. And then after he was to have slit his father and his mother's neck, or his brother and his mother, excuse me, he was going to take their SUV and start running people over on his way back to the campus, quote-unquote splattering as many people as he possibly could, until he went to the party central of campus where everybody partied. He had this timed out. By the time he got back home, you know, it'd be late at night when people were partying. He would have showed up at parties and started killing all the blonde-headed women and women in general and couples that he had seen. But right beforehand, he would have taken all the heads that he had previously decapitated and rolled them on the ground just so he could have seen the fear in their face, and so that they would look at him as if he was a god and fear him as a god. And then he would continue killing as many people as possible. And then right before the cops showed up, he would have hopped back in the SUV, chugged a bottle of vodka mixed with Xanax and Vicodin, and then taken 2 guns and shot himself in the head. That way, if he would not have died from the gunshots, he would have died from the overdose for sure. He knew he was going to die, and he was okay with it as long as he took everybody out with him.
That's fucking stupid.
Well, needless to say, this isn't exactly how it went down if you're, was watching the news.
I'm not sure how it went down, man. Explain it to me.
Well, he ended up going to the sorority. He did not end up sneaking in. He was stalked the outside of the sorority for weeks beforehand, so he knew when people would leave and go. He targeted specific girls, and he waited till he saw them going in and out, and he shot them from the outside of the sorority house. And then he continued to drive around campus shooting random couples and women that he saw. He ended up shooting, I think, a total of, I want to say 17, it may have been 19. 7 died on scene, and 2 ended up dying later. He did slit the throats of the people in his apartment. He didn't kill them by shooting them, and then he was driving and running into people on bikes and stuff, driving into them right before he shot. And then he was in a gunfire with cops. He stopped, was in a gunfire with cops, didn't get shot once, got back in his car, and drove off running into people right before he shot himself twice in the head, ending his life.
Damn.
So 7 died on scene. 2 ended up dying later, so he killed a total of 9 people. And the fucked up thing is now here's where the exclusive information comes. If you've watched it up to now, you've earned this information.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in reading his suicide letter, I learned that he had an obsession with playing World of Warcraft. Well, and after watching his YouTube channel, I was able to find his email address. I found 3 email addresses that he used. In finding his YouTube channel and looking him up on Facebook, I was able to find 3 email addresses. And in doing so, I was able to look up his YouTube or his World of Warcraft account, which plays a big role in his murder spree because he played World of Warcraft for 8 years, and then he actually confessed all of his murders that he was going to do to someone on World of Warcraft. And he admitted this in the letter, but he didn't say who he confessed it to. So what I did was, and this is about a few months before the murder incident, he explained everything that was going on to one of his best friends on World of Warcraft. He explained the murders that were going to happen, how he felt and everything, and then he completely quit playing the game. So there's someone out there in World of Warcraft that knew of the incidents before it took place. And not only that, but I was able to find his email address, which led me to his World of Warcraft account, which led me to his World of Warcraft friends list, which led me to a group, one of 12 people that could have been the person that on his friends list, that one of these 12 people were the people that he previously told all of this to. And this is exclusive information that I looked up myself. This isn't stuff you can already find out there. Now, I'm not going to tell you these people's names, but I'm going to tell you how you can find them. I'm not going to tell you these email addresses because this is something you need to look up on your own. But I can tell you that he was on what server he was on. He was on a server called Warsong. That was his primary server because he had 4 level 85s on that server. So I'm assuming that's his primary server. And when I logged in, he wasn't in a guild. He must have quit the guild before he, before he quit the game.
Mm-hmm.
But all you need, you can go and see online once you get his email address who is on his friends list. So there's 12 people on his friends list. So if you can get his email address, and it was easy for me to get, so it should be easy for you to get, you can see one of 12 people that he had talked to previously. That could be really crucial information. That's a really crucial person in the investigation of Elliot Rodgers. So if I was able to do it, you would be able to do it. Now, have I talked to these people yet? No, because my World of Warcraft account has been down for half a year. But I am going to be getting it up here in the next week, and I'm going to go looking for this guy because I have all 12 of the names written down. I'm gonna find the guy that he had talked to previously, and I'm going to ask him to come out with his side of the story, because it has to be one of these 12 people, because he was unable to relate to most people. This is someone that, he didn't have that many friends. He had no friends in life, and only 12 people on World of Warcraft. So it's got to be one of these 12 people that were on his friends list.
Man, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, I'm listening to this, and I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, so his main was on the server Warsong, which doesn't surprise me because it's servers are broken up into time frames, like depending on what part of the world you were in. And Warsong is actually a California server, so it makes sense in my opinion. So take that as you will, and it's real easy information to get your hands on. So if you want to look into this yourself, and if you're a detective, I don't understand why you haven't looked at this route, because of his suicide letter, straight out comes out and says how he conversed with one of his friends on World of Warcraft and asked for advice. What advice did this guy give him on World of Warcraft? And was he trolling Elliot, or was he being sincere when he gave him the advice? It doesn't say what the advice was, but look at the outcome that has taken place. Mm-hmm. Did he feel Elliot Rodgers' godlike complex and his narcissism, or did he try to reason with him? And here's the thing about World of Warcraft. All the information, everything you type is saved. Even if it's in a private chat, admins can get their hands on it. So whatever conversation took place in World of Warcraft is still saved data out there if you act quick enough to get it. I'm sure it's still out there because every year they refresh all useless data. So it's still out there right now. So I'm going to try to get my hands on it.
Man, that is fucking crazy. And you know what? If you find it, should we put it here on the podcast and let people decide?
Yeah, and next week I'm going to get on World of Warcraft and I'm going to look these 12 people up and I'm going to grill them. And if I can find the one it is, it has to be one of these 12 people. I'm going to ask them to come on the podcast and to explain their side of the story. If they want to stay completely anonymous, by all means. But there's information that he's going to know that no one else does, so I'll be able to know if it's someone being fake or not. So we're going to definitely put it on the podcast. So that was exclusive information that other people had not previously looked up for some reason.
You heard it here, You heard it here first, folks.
He was on the Warsong server on World of Warcraft. 12 people on his friends list. You know, all you have to do is find his email address, which you can actually get off of Facebook. That's the only hint I'm giving you. If you want to go down the rabbit trail yourself, go for it. But that's all as far as I'm going. Because if I give you too much information, then you may get it before we do. And I don't want that, because I put a lot of work into finding this information, man.
It's like they say, man, if you go down the rabbit hole, you got to bring your own carrots.
Yeah, and I will say that I felt sorry for the guy because his parents did. They did nothing for him. They weren't there for him. His mother lied and abandoned him so many times in life. It helped develop his hatred towards women. And his father was off filming movies. That was never there for him, and he looked up to his father so much. Honestly, you should give his suicide note a read. It allows you to see the inner workings of his mind, and it's so long and it's so vivid. He was a smart person, I'll give him that. He was crazy, but he was really articulate, and I was really surprised to see someone, like that in life. But anyways, the rest of the information's already out there about Elliot, so if you want to find more information out about him, all you have to do is Google his freaking name. But I believe that Casket King, you have a crazy story similar to this one.
Yes, I do, and before I say that, I would like to say that people have been asking me, do you agree about this guy, because he got in the friend zone so many times and whatnot? Do you agree with him that he should have been able to kill all of them people? And I want to put it on the record right now, I do not fucking agree with him. I find the comments on his videos fucking sickening, and the fact that some of them have pony icons make me die a little inside.
And I would like to go on record saying that I don't agree with him, but after researching him and seeing all of his information and stuff, I feel sorry for him for not getting the help, and for his parents not getting him the help when they had the chance, because this could have been prevented so many different times. 24 hours before he went and killed people, he uploaded a YouTube video called Retribution, where he literally explained how he was going to murder everybody 24 hours before he did it. At any point, someone could have notified the police, but did anybody do it?
Nope.
No. And so I felt sorry for him because that was his last cry for help, as if he wanted to get caught and stop to see if there was any justice left in humanity, as he would have put it. And not only that, but 2 days before he did the shooting, 7 cops showed up to his house because he had released a video talking about, and his parents thought he was suicidal. He had 3 guns and 50 pounds of ammunition in his apartment.
Damn.
And the cops released left saying that he was a honorable young man. They never did a background check on someone who's suicidal. They never did a background check. They never asked to look at his apartment. All they did was ask him, "Hey, are you going to kill yourself?" And he said no, and they left. I mean, you think that they would do a background check or at least see if he had any gun permits, which he did. Legally, he was owning 3 guns. They could have easily looked that information up in like 10 seconds.
Man, that should be like some sort of law. Like, if someone says people think that somebody's going to kill themselves, do a little background check, see if they have any gun permits. If they do, look into that shit a little more.
Because this could have been prevented multiple times. All the way back to the guy on World of Warcraft. He should have flagged it. Even if he just flagged it to the administrators, they would have gotten in touch with the police. This could have been prevented months ago. And it's because of people who don't take stuff seriously until it's too late, Hindsight can be your worst enemy. You should have done something whenever you had the chance to. So if you ever see someone being suicidal, or if you ever see someone that's acting out of the ordinary in ways of, in different ways, and not only that, but he was able to purchase guns with mental disorders on his record. I thought they placed some sort of ban on guns for people with psychotic disabilities.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome and with depression, and he was still able to purchase 3 guns and 50 pounds of ammunition.
And
No, I'm
that
not
blows my
anti-guns.
mind, man.
Do what?
That blows my mind.
I am not anti-guns by any means, but I'm also not for people with mental disabilities owning firearms, because this is a trend. There's a pattern to this. The guy who shot up the theaters in the Batman movie had mental disabilities. It can be tracked back for years. The people who shot up Columbine had been previously diagnosed with mental disabilities. There is a pattern there, and now, it's a circle of destruction which is never ending. And all of these disabilities, most of them that they were diagnosed with, like Elliot Rodgers had gotten Asperger's syndrome from getting a flu shot as a kid, which is really common nowadays to get Asperger's syndrome because of flu shots and stuff like that. And so it goes back. This I don't know. I could rant about this for hours, but all this information's available if you want to research it. But go ahead, Casket. Your story's pretty crazy. Let me hear about this.
All right, so I found this story a couple hours ago.
All right.
And I don't remember the date, but I'm believing it was sometime in the last week or last month.
What's it titled? What would you give the name to the story?
Well, putting a name to it's kind of hard. I mean,
all right. Well, give me a walkthrough. Act like, tell me step by step, like a step by step play. Let me hear this.
All right. Well, I'll start from the beginning. There were 3 girls.
Okay.
Doing a slumber party.
That's hot.
They were 12.
Oh, well, never mind. That's not hot anymore.
I shouldn't be laughing, but that's pretty funny.
I was picturing 18, 19 college girls, not freaking pubescent. Anyways, continue.
So they're having a sleepover. There's 3 of them. The thing is, 2 of them have been planning to kill their friend since December.
Ooh, so this was a planned murder. Did they give a reason why they were going to kill his friend? Were they being a douchebag?
No. Their reason is completely crazy and fucked up, and I will reveal that later. But for now,
okay.
They've been talking about killing their friend since December. They've been planning it, and they were going to kill their friend during the sleepover.
Very disturbing, but continue.
They said that they were going to kill her in her sleep, so they didn't have to look her in the eye.
At least they had some compassion. Not. That's fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up. They decided not to go through with it.
Hey, that's smart. They didn't kill the girl.
Oh, they killed the girl. They just didn't do it that night.
Oh.
So the next day, they're out in the woods and they're playing hide and seek.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Hide and go die. How about that?
Pretty much. So they're playing hide and seek, and the 2 girls decide to stab their friend, I believe it was 19 times.
Ooh, that's disturbing in multiple ways. 12-year-old murderers. How fucked up.
Yeah, the girl was stabbed in the arms, the legs, the torso, the knife missed her heart by a kilometer, I believe they said.
I wonder if both of them stabbed her, or if it was just one of them.
I believe it was just one of them, from the way the article made it sound.
Okay. Continue.
But it could have been both.
With this horrific story.
But yes, they tried to kill the girl. Luckily, they missed all the major arteries and shit.
What luck. That girl, oh my god, she's going to be traumatized for life.
Oh, definitely. Then
so
somehow,
lived.
Yeah, she right now, she is alive.
Oh, that is good. I want to send her some chocolates to her hospital room. I feel sorry for this girl. And I'm not being sarcastic.
She was able to crawl out of the woods and was found by a bicyclist who called 911. And I believe
Wow.
the article listed her in stable condition.
Well, that right there is the closest thing I've ever seen to a miracle.
Mm-hmm. Now to get to the really, really, really fucked up part. You think stabbing somebody is really fucked up? Well, the reason they were going to kill the girl was even more fucked up.
All right, lay it on me, man. Lay it on.
Okay. Well, they've been playing this since December. Remember that.
Okay.
They were going to kill the girl as a sacrifice or offering to the Slender Man.
Wait a second. Hold the reins. They were going to kill the girl as an offering to a video game demon person.
Mythological creature Slenderman. Yes, they were going to kill the girl for the Slenderman.
Can I get a check, please, for 2 psychotic, crazy girls? Because I'm out of here.
Yeah. They said they were going to kill the girl in the woods and become proxies, whatever the fuck that is, of the Slenderman.
Crazy, psychotic, pre-teenage girls who think they can become proxies to Slender Man by killing someone in his name. Now I've heard it all. I've heard everything.
Oh, it's not done yet. It's not done yet, my man.
Oh, God.
They were going to kill the girl, become proxies of the Slender Man, and live in the Slender Man's wooded mansion in one of the national parks out west.
I think these are 2 crazy females that probably didn't get enough attention from their mama and probably got touched by their daddy.
Probably read one too many creepy pastas.
Now, what I feel sorry for the most is what I would like to know is why they chose this specific girl. And it's what made them want this specific girl to be their sacrifice.
As far as I know, dude, it was a random choice.
Oh my God.
They just randomly picked her out last year, and they said, well, we're going to kill that girl for the Slender Man.
And this reminds me of that black kid, and I'm not racist, it's just it's just the way it is. He's a black kid who thought he could become a Super Saiyan. You've got to explain what's reality and what's not reality to kill children, man. To all your parents out there, you need to sit down and explain to them what a fantasy is, because if you don't, they're going to get that mixed up as a kid, man. And I'm telling you, man, this is the outcome of it,
But yeah, man, it looks like right now the website creepypasta.com and the Creepypasta Wiki getting a bit of blame for this right now.
Oh, that's bullshit, man. Creepypastas are awesome. What I will say, this isn't Creepypasta's fault. This is parenting. Pure parenting.
Parenting all the way.
This is parenting failure. The parents should have known, with the way the world's developing and the access kids have to all this random, sometimes useless information, parents need to sit down and explain to children what the difference is between reality and a fantasy, because, children don't know. Children think that everything's 100% legit, and sometimes they want to believe more than anything else, and that right there can lead to incidents like this. This is purely a fault of the parents, and they should definitely have some sort of charge, because this does come back on them.
There's also more to this story, my man.
Oh, God.
The main girl, the one who did most of the stabbing, claimed that she could see the Slender Man in her dreams, and he talked to her.
Okay, well then, I say this is partial parenting and partial craziness. I think this sounds like a case of schizophrenic. If she's seeing it, if she's seeing the Slender Man, then she's probably crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe he does exist. Dun, dun, dun. But on a serious note, I feel sorry for the girl that was stabbed 19 times, and if I knew her location, I would totally send her some chocolates and a get well soon card, because it's pretty fucked up, And best wishes to the family and to the girl that survived this. I know she's going to be traumatized for life.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine getting stabbed 19 times from people you thought was your friends?
You know, dude, I think she might be close to you. She's somewhere up north. You'd probably be able to find her.
Oh man, I feel sorry for her. It's the world's gone crazy. That's the easiest way to put it. The world has gone.
My friend, the
crazy.
world went crazy years ago.
Yeah, that's very true. It's like the story that was out years ago of this kid. I think it was between the ages of 7 and 12. He was into this TV show, which you probably are familiar with, because I am, Naruto, or however you want to pronounce it. Do you know that the anime Naruto?
I think I know what story you're talking about, man, but go on, you tell it.
All right, well, this guy was obsessed, or we'll say a kid, this child was obsessed with the TV show Naruto, and he wanted to get the powers of someone, he wanted to get the powers from someone from the anime, specifically the Sand guy. I forget his name. Do you know his name?
It's like Gara or something, and I know where this is going, dude. This is a fucked up story.
So this kid, this child, and this is a lack of parenting as well.
And I believe there were also 2 friends that were helping him.
Yeah, so he decided he was going to reenact how this anime character, Garo, got his abilities to control sand by burying himself in sand and then becoming engraved with the sand and then becoming to have the ability to control the sand. So, from what I remember of it, and you can add in details that I forgot, basically he had buried himself and died from suffocation under the sand.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, did you say there was friends helping him?
Yeah, I believe 2 friends had buried him as he wanted them to.
Now, I will say that this is purely lack of parenting. This is the problem of children having children. You have a 16-year-old girl having kids. What happens? 16-year-old girl isn't it grown yet?
Mm-hmm.
This is, and now I'm not saying this is the case in the incident with the boy because I'm lazy and didn't research that one. But I will say that parents, please, for the love of God, explain to your children what the difference between fantasy and reality is. Because without that knowledge, crazy shit happens, man.
Oh, yeah. It's like, looks like the neighborhood kids are burying little Timmy in the sandbox. I think we need to sit down and have a little talk.
Yeah, and here's the fucked up part. Everybody lives in some sort of fantasy, even you religious lovers out there. Your Bible is a fantasy that you choose to live in. Now, I know that's completely controversial, and some people are going to hate that I said that, but, does that mean it's a lie? I'm not saying that it's not true. You believe what you want to believe. That's your decision, but it's still a form of fantasy, and everybody lives in some sort of fantasy. You just got to make sure that the fantasy your children are in are not ones that are going to lead to their deaths or the deaths of others,
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, parents need to have more interaction with their children. What do you think?
I agree.
It's a sad world that we live in where kids are not taught the difference between the two, and and this is the outcome of it. And there's nothing, and the people who's already been killed by this, they're the victims in this. The people that kill excuse me. The people that have been murdered by people living in a fantasy, or the people who had accidentally killed themselves due to this fantasy, or been harmed in any way due to a fantasy lifestyle, are the victims due to the parents not explaining to the children what the difference between a fantasy, reality, and the actual world is.
And what pisses me off, man, is they always blame the TV show or the video games or the creepypasta.
Yeah, and that has, and then when something like this happens, everybody wants to throw their like, oh, this is because of gun rights. All guns should be illegal. or oh, this happened because of so and so, or this guy was a part of a group that online that supported actions like this. Well, you know what? This all of that could be avoided if it was the parents who helped the children understand. It's not video games that make the children do this. It's not creepypastas. It's not animes. It's the parents not explaining the difference between reality and fantasy. That's my personal opinion. And because I love creepypastas, and I know you do too.
Fuck yeah.
And I don't want to see them take a blow because of stupid children with stupid parents.
Mm-hmm. It's like man, like I say, you keep your hands off my scary noodles. Those are mine. You cannot take them away. You can ban certain books, but you can't fucking get rid of my scary noodles.
I mean, and it's just it's pretty fucked up, man. And man, I'm subscribed to so many creepypastas. And for those of you out there that don't know what a creepypasta is, Casca, do you want to explain to them?
Well, we are not talking about a scary Italian dish. I can say that much.
Yes, very much so. This is not a scary Italian dish.
Which, to be honest, that's what I originally thought a creepypasta was before I found out. Like, no joke.
Man, but that is not the case here. Do you want to tell them what it is? Because there's some people out there that just don't know. You know what I mean?
So a creepypasta, it's slang for copy paste horror story on the internet that go around. There's a whole website for them, creepypasta.com. You got the creepypasta wiki. Some real good ones out there. Some of them may or may not be true.
Yeah, and the reason, and some creepypastas are true, which I've lived through to myself. Which, I won't go into that here, but and some creepypastas are made up just for the thrill of the horror story. And there's different categories. There's video game creepypastas.
Lost
episodes. Lost episode creepypastas. There's
creatures.
Yeah, and there's real life creepypastas. There's multiple. There's different forms under creepypastas, and if there's a certain type of horror stories or genre that you're into, there's creepypastas about it. And honestly, it's very entertaining. And just YouTube it. Just type in creepypasta into YouTube and watch a couple of videos if you're into horror stories. If you get frightened easy, or are prone to heart attacks or stuff like that,
may not want to look into it.
Yeah, just a disclaimer, because it's scary. It's meant for people who get thrills from being scared. That's what creepypastas are.
Some of this shit is hardcore scary.
Like extremely scary. And so if you're into horror movies and you want to find another outlet that can give you the same thrills, there you go. And you don't just have to read them. There's ones on YouTube where people read them to you. There's channels dedicated for people reading creepypastas.
Yeah.
And they're very successful too. I mean, it's a very popular thing. So don't blame, an object or a program or a video game on someone's actions. Blame the parenting and mental disabilities, because that's what it comes down to.
Also, blame the police, because a lot of times police are called days, even hours in advance. They're like, okay, well, nothing's wrong here. 6 hours later, somebody's got a duffel bag full of severed heads.
Yeah, honestly, this does have to come to the lack of police work. It would have taken 20 seconds for them to just type into their computers and their cop cars just to see if you had any guns on. But did they do that? No. And you know why they didn't do that? Because his father had such a respected, his father was very respected, and his father was very famous. It doesn't matter if you're famous or not, or if your parents are, or whatever. You are just as liable to be a killer as an average Joe. And the cops need to stop putting people who have money and are more respected and famous on a higher pedestal, because that's when big issues start. If it would have been just an average person, they may have taken the time to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
but they think that people who are famous and rich and living better lives are on a different playing field. Oh, no. He's got money. He's got he's got a car. He's got, everything anyone would ask for. So why would he do that? That's not the question you should be asking.
He's got a solid gold brick for a pillow. Why would he go and fucking shoot and run over people?
Yeah, the question you need to be asking is, does this guy own guns? Is this guy suicidal? Does this guy have mental disorders?
Is he on medication?
He was supposed to be on medication. And somehow he was taking mind-altering drugs like Xanax and Vicodin, which he was not prescribed. He was buying them from somebody off the streets. But
to be honest, dude, in California, you could buy that shit from a 5-year-old standing on a street corner. That shit's like candy over there.
Yeah. Let's see here. How long is this podcast up to now?
We're at 40 minutes, my friend.
All right. I guess we should wrap it up. Just do a summary. Because if you've been watching this long, good for you. And
congrats.
If you look down below, you'll see a link to my YouTube channel. Hopefully, King cough.
Hell yeah.
I just want to do a little plug here, if that's okay with you.
Go for it, man.
All right. I have a YouTube channel called Lord Clay One, and I do random videos. Sometimes I do music. I've been starting a Superman vlogs and weird and creepy stories, and I'm going to be doing skits in the future. I've ordered a lot of new equipment to do such. Just, hop on over there, give a couple of my new videos a look, and if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe.
Yo, man, is it alright if I give a little spoiler about one of your future videos?
I'm starting a series where Superman finds a Death Note, and it's how Superman becomes corrupted by the Death Note and a Shinigami. And it's going to be unique, and that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months. It's an ongoing project. It's going to be a short series, probably about 12 episodes. And I've put a lot of money and effort and props and stuff for this, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and watch those. Also, I'll be doing short skits like unanswerable questions from women and stuff like that. It's just run over there and watch my newest 3 videos. They're about 5 minutes long. If you enjoy them, subscribe. If you don't, feel free not to subscribe.
For the love of God, watch the Superman video. It is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Superman vlog's pretty funny. But appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch the CnC podcast. If you would like to see future topics that you enjoy spoken about by us, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Anything you'd like to add on to that, sir?
That's about it, man. Always like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. If you don't have to listen to our podcast, you can always tab out and do something else.
Yeah, you can. Yes, this is one of those things where if you're waiting for a video game to download, or if you're waiting for something to happen, why not just sit down and relax?
Or if you're bored and you just want something to jerk off to.
Hey, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, we're definitely wanting to do more of these in the future. So, it could be any type of idea. We're open to talking about anything. We really are.
Fuck yeah.
So just leave a comment down below, and if you have any ideas, or if you know of any games that you want to see us play on here, or anything like that, or if you just want to give us feedback and say how shitty we are, go for it.
Fuck yeah. The first comment, I'm going to put, I am really shitty.
Yeah, but I appreciate you guys watching, and I am Krusty Loves.
And I am Casket King.
And we will see you guys later.
Peace.